How's it going, everyone? We have gotten the Mafia the Old Country gameplay trailer, and my goodness, does this game look incredible. This game has just shot up to be one of my most anticipated games of 2025. Heading into the year, it was already one of my most anticipated games of the year, but they did a phenomenal job with this trailer. Go check out the entirety of the trailer for yourself. I feel like it sets the tone for what to expect out of the game, but I think the most interesting aspect about this reveal, which is going to get lost with everybody watching the trailer, is the fact that Mafia the Old Country is going to be a game priced at $49.99. Yes, it is the latest in what seems like a shift in a lot of games coming out at a $50 price point. We've had games such as Clair Obscur Expedition 33 recently come out at $50. Atomfall was a budget title. You had Wushang Fallen Feathers get revealed, and that's coming at a $50 price point. And now, this is the one that is the most surprising because it's coming from 2K Games, and it's a major publisher, and Mafia games historically have been at a premium price point. Mafia 2 was $60. Mafia 3 was $60. Mafia Definitive Edition, to be fair, was, I believe, $40, but that was a remake, an upgraded release of a game that already existed. With Mafia the Old Country, it is a brand new title. It is the latest Mafia game, and it is coming at a $50 budget price point, whereas I think a lot of people expected this game to be $70, and I wonder if that is something of an understanding of a shift from consumer behavior as far as a lot of these games come out at $70, you guys, and some games do very, very well at a $70 price tag. Let's not get lost with that. But then you have your shorter games, a Callisto Protocol, a Immortals of Aveum, and even longer games like a Forspoken or a Wild Hearts, that this $70 price tag is just not going to fly with every game. I think that's what we have to assess with the $80 price tag as well, that some games can get away with it. Your GTAs of the world, your Mario Kart worlds of the world, you know, that's a little bit redundant, but you get the idea. Those games can get away with $80. On the other hand, there has been this shift, it feels like, where some developers and publishers are looking at it and being like, yo, these games, while they might be expensive to develop, the result of it pricing it even higher, while it's very enticing, it's not going to lead to the game doing very well. And there have been so many $70 games that have just come out and bombed, and I feel like this is a case of voting with your wallet actually having a great result out of it, because if this was a different timeline where there was a lot of $70 games, if the Callisto Protocols of the world, if the Immortals of Aveums of the world came out and they were bangers and they did incredibly well at $70, I think this would be priced at $70. I think this is a direct result of assessing the market, realizing that there is this influx of $70 games, and there have been so many that have been bombing that they didn't want to go down this route. So what they exactly noted is, we think there's a large audience for compelling stories that don't require massive commitments. We're excited to offer a game like Mafia the Old Country in our portfolio and to provide a linear, highly polished narrative experience that can easily complement the other more persistent games our players also love and engage with on a more consistent basis. This is something that I've been saying for so long, with all of these publishers and developers chasing that live service gravy train. The reality is, most people have a set number of live service games that they play at any point in time. It's usually one, maybe two. Some of the fiends maybe juggle three, but at the end of it, there is a limit. You cannot just throw live service game after live service game and think about it from the standpoint of, oh, well, if just 4 of our 20 games pop off, that's a success. Guess what? People don't have the time. That is the issue with these games. People just don't have the time to invest into all of these live service games, and we don't need every game to be Assassin's Creed Valhalla with 200 hours. For me personally, and I know I'm in a unique position where I cover video games on this channel and whatnot, it is a breath of fresh air whenever I see a more digestible game. And I get it that some people, the be-all end-all is how they quantify the value that they get out of their game, and that is based on hours of gameplay that they get. But for a lot of other people, that is not the quantification that they look at. They don't look at pure hours of gameplay that they get. They look at quality of experience. And if Mafia the Old Country is a quality 8 to 10 hour experience that is top level throughout, guess what? It's a game I'll probably go back to every year or every other year and play through again and again and again. Last of Us Part 1 isn't this 40-hour long game, but it's a game that I go back over and over again and play, and ultimately I've gotten my value and then some out of that game. I've gotten my value and then some out of a lot of games that were a little bit on the shorter side, but I've gone back and played through them so many more times. Normalize games not all having to be 150-hour Assassin's Creed Valhallas. That's what I'll say on that. Mafia: The Old Country will offer 2 editions, the Standard Edition and the Deluxe Edition. Both editions are available for pre-order today and will release worldwide on August the 8th. I think that August 8th release date is really good because it's a few weeks before you get the wave of games coming out. Like, it's that August 26th to the 28th where you have Lost Soul aside, Metal Gear Solid 3 Remake, and there's other games coming out that I'm totally forgetting on. One big game just got announced for August the 26th, I want to say, and I'm totally blanking on it off the top of my head. But it's that couple days stretch that is just insane, and that's going to go on for the rest of the fall. But the Standard Edition includes the full base game and will be available for $49.99 on PS5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC via Steam. The Deluxe Edition will be $59.99, and it'll give you a variety of bonus items, but this is this digital bonus and cosmetics and things of that nature, accessories. Nothing too crazy, very reminiscent of how Expedition 33 handled its $60 Definitive Edition or Deluxe Edition, where it's just some like cosmetic items and stuff that isn't necessary and completely game-changing. It's like, if you want to support the game a little bit more and you want to get the $60 version, by all means, but you don't need to. Pre-order Mafia: The Old Country Standard Edition or Deluxe Edition to receive the Soldado pack featuring the Soldado outfit, a special knife, the Tesoro horse, and accessories Lupara charm on top of that. Drawing upon 22 years of experience creating Mafia's brutal and immersive world, the franchise veterans and Hangar 13 are now crafting Mafia: The Old Country, an origin story for the acclaimed series. First established in 2002 with the launch of the landmark game Mafia, the franchise has sold more than 38 million copies across consoles and PC. I see it a lot on social media, but it really does feel like the world is healing a little bit. And Mafia: The Old Country, you know, if it's an 8 to 10 hour game and it was priced at $70, maybe that would have been a very difficult hard sell. And remember, Mafia 3 went for this more open world approach, and I thought that was ultimately a detriment to that game. But all these years later, we're returning to a more linear game, and 9 years after Mafia 3, we're getting a cheaper game, and given the dollar value has changed quite a lot, as people will let me know, as if it's not abundantly clear, but, you know, we're getting a cheaper game at the end of it, and I think having that level of goodwill right now in a world where there is so many games, and there are so many games going with that $80 price tag, $70 price tag even, dropping a $50 price point becomes a discussion point. This is gonna build a lot of positive momentum for the game, and I think that's great, and it's coming out at a time period where there's not gonna be a lot of other big games coming out. I think the gaming world is gonna gravitate towards Mafia: The Old Country, and certainly I'll be talking about it a lot leading up to the release. But incredible news here, Mafia: The Old Country out August 8th. Let me know your thoughts on the $49.99 price point. I feel like that is a huge point to have a celebration, and given we talk a lot about $80 games, we gotta talk about $50 games. Incredibly exciting stuff. That'll do it for me. Let me know all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. Sound off there. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.